rise and fly, go.
Hello, ladies and jelly spoons. Welcome to 24K Movies, TV shows, and video game reviews. It's your boy, the Game Ninja. We're finally back. 2026. I know it's been a month. Oh my God, we've been going crazy. I've been suffering mad health problems, but I am back, and we are going to get down to it. Did I stop watching movies? No. It's pretty much all you can do when you're bedridden. Did I stop watching TV? No. Pretty much all you can do when you're bedridden. Did I stop listening to music and playing video games? No. Pretty much all you can do when you're bedridden. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want you to sit back and relax with your favorite bag of snacks, because we got to dive in and talk about some movies. Now, there will be a subsequent second video that's talking about just television and addressing just the television shows that we have watched, we are currently watching, and what we're going through. But this is movies. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, buckle up. After all, our views are not paid for. It is not sponsored. We tell you if it's good. We tell you if it's bad. We give it to you totally raw and uncensored. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have not seen these movies, spoiler alert right now. Spoiler alert ahead. We will talk about it. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grab your popcorn. I'm Bellathorn. Where did I even come from? Grab your popcorn, grab your sodas, sit back and relax, eat them snacks, and we got to talk about some movie tracks. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to 24K Movie Reviews. First up, okay, we're back. First up, recently, Return to Silent Hill 2026. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to let it go from the door. Haven't recently just played, because it came out not too long ago. Silent Hill 2, the game, the remake, just came out not too long ago. There's no excuse for your movie to be what it was if the game came out. All you really had to do was go and watch the commercial for the game, and you would have understood the assignment for the movie. I've never seen disrespect to a intellectual property like this in my entire life. Now, that is coming from the gamer side of me, because I played the game. From the movie and cinephile side of me, as a lover of cinema, it still sucked even as a horror movie. First of all, we don't Pyramid Head, that is not Pyramid Head. Anybody who's ever come across Pyramid Head in the game, we know what Pyramid Head is. There were so many moments and key things that they dropped out and missed that I was angry. And I think because I'm a gamer, I took it more on the chin than the cinephile version of me. Because as soon as they entered, I was like, oh, so wait a minute. You're supposed to go down street by street, and it blocks and it makes you change where you go and how you go. And I was just like, wait a minute. He's been walking for like 5 minutes. He should have encountered one of them creepy, no-arm, twitchy ladies in the street. I just kept critiquing it as we went along because I played the game. That is the gamer side of me. And then I'm like, well, what about the key piece that goes to the jukebox, or the half of the record and the other half of the record that you have to put together in order to play to get the key, in order to move on to the next? And I understand if you were going to make a movie that way, it would have probably been like 4 hours long. But the runtime of Silent Hill, let me check on that. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I checked on it. 1 hour, 45 minutes. So you did almost have 2 hours to do it. You could have done it. You could have done it better. I understand you wanted the love story to be wrapped up in the shell of this guy and what he's going through. I didn't care much for the main actor. Like I said, the gamer version of me hated this. But then again, the cinephile version of me came to realize that they have never gotten it correct. When it comes from video games to actual movies, they've never gotten it correct. They never will get it correct. They never will care to pay attention to get it enough correct. And I don't understand that. For instance, I will give 3 passes to recent projects that hit the nail on the head and understood the assignment. Number one, Twisted Metal. I was laughing my ass off when I saw the guy who drinks gasoline. He's got these big wheels and he just rides around shooting machine guns. And I'm like, this shit is comical. But I don't remember back in the day playing that because I didn't play Twisted Metal all that often. So I happened to pick up Twisted Metal Black Edition and I went to play it, and one of the first things I saw as a character you could pick is the guy that drinks gasoline. He got the big ass wheels with machine guns, and I started laughing tremendously. So I played a few rounds of Twisted Metal Black and I realized how spot on Twisted Metal as a TV series was. So I redacted my opinion on that because at first I was just like, look, I'm just having fun. Anthony Mackie is funny as this. I'm having fun. But then when I actually went back and played the Twisted Metal Black game, I didn't realize how close they were to the source material. So bravo, that gets the pass. Definitely gets the pass. The second one I'm going to say is controversial because I know a lot of people are not going to get it. But Until Dawn. Until Dawn, the movie. Now, I hated it like so many people before I saw it because I just know they were going to bastardize what my gameplay experience was. And watching the movie as a horror movie, it was pretty damn awesome. The concept is awesome. But from the gaming standpoint, I was having problems. But as the story went on, it was kind of like, many of you play Dead by Daylight, right? All the time. Well, my gamers, you play Dead by Daylight. The casting of Frank Stone was the prequel to Dead by Daylight. It explained the lore and how we got to this universe. The casting of Frank Stone was the hors d'oeuvre before the main course. In that way, Until Dawn, the movie we got, was the prequel to the game. And they set up the game in the end. Now, I think it was a missed opportunity not to start with the actual game and then going back and doing a prequel. That would have been smarter, but I understood the approach. And being able to look at it from that standpoint, like the casting of Frank Stone, it was a prequel to Until Dawn. It was much more enjoyable to watch. So I had to forgive that one because to look at a movie with an open mind, I have to be of two minds. I have to be of the gamer mind and the cinephile mind. And both of them have to come to terms and battle on what I'm watching, what I'm digesting in a movie. So I went back and re-examined Until Dawn, and I had to give it a pass. I had to give it a pass because I had just recently played the casting of Frank Stone as it led into Dead by Daylight, and I understood what you were doing. Having said that, it didn't go over too well with a lot of gamers. It definitely didn't go over too well with a lot of horror movie people because they didn't get what was going on either. The hourglass. But you did use Peter Stormare. That was a good thing in both projects. Okay, so I gotta give that one. The last one, I'm torn over. I said recent projects. I know there's a lot of them. I said recent projects. The Last of Us. The Last of Us TV series on HBO is very controversial. Matter of fact, I would say arguably almost everybody was unified on the first season with the same kind of thought process. If you were a gamer, verbatim, it was almost a 1-to-1 ratio from the game to the movie. You could literally pause the TV series and go back to the game and you'll see exactly scene for scene, match part for part, word for word, the narrative of what they were doing. And that, it was spot on. Having said that, going into the second season, then they decided to change what made the first season absolutely brilliant. Sticking to the source material 100%, no deviation. This is why you were celebrated for your season 1. All you had to do is repeat the same chemistry for season 2, which you did not do. I'm not going to get into the whole Bella Ramsey being miscast part. I'm not going to get into the whole Caitlin Deaver thing. She should have played the Ellie part, looked more like Ellie from the game. I'm not going to get into the whole thing where Ashley, the actress who voiced and was the likeness of the character of Ellie in the game, could have been chosen. But we're not going to go into that. We're just going to say divisively. We've hearing that Bella Ramsey has decided to exit the project with season 3, and there will be no season 4 from HBO, which, look, let's face it, Pedro Pascal carried the show. The people who played the game were heartbroken and angry that you would kill Joel off in the second game. This was your chance to rectify that mistake. And you failed. But season 1 is going to stand alone from season 2. Season 1, The Last of Us, is the closest I've ever seen to a game reiteration into an actual real life version. The closest. Those 3 recent projects, they get a hand clap. Hand clap, hand clap, hand clap, hand clap. But getting back to Silent Hill, I got to give that shit a thumbs down. I got to. I sat through it bored. I sat through it. I was on my phone most of the time. Did not hold my attention. Everything that was real, you couldn't tell if it was a vision or a fake out. And then there was just parts that I'm just like, did you guys even play the game? Did you sample study? Did you do any testing, test screenings? Like, what is this that you made? It had ingredients of Silent Hill. It did have ingredients. Like when he was walking in the beginning, and I'm like, well, what the hell is this shit? Because we know where the game starts, in the bathroom as he walks down the path. And then it got to that, and I was like, okay, well, hold up. Let me reserve judgment. This looked like the game. And then quickly, within minutes, I understood. They was like, yeah, we got the story. We got the general story, but we're going to go this way. And it veered from the game, and it never came back. And that's where it lost me. So Silent Hill, on my metallic scale here in 24K, that shit is copper. I can't even say it was an enjoyable watch, because at no point in time was I worried his life was in jeopardy. At no point in time did I even feel Pyramid Head was a threat. It had some really explosive kills and scenes, but not enough to save it. So, ladies and gentlemen, 2026, Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill, it's just another failed attempt to recreate a game's great story and beautiful narrative to Hollywood slop. But wait, there's more. On to the next movie. Okay, the next movie we got to talk about is Primate. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, because you guys are 100% worthy of the realness. Oh, that's the Ring of Power. I'm putting on the Precious. I wasn't wearing the Ring of Power when I started. Look, we gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, 100%. Primate to me was a missed opportunity. And I know you're asking why. I mean, how bad can you do a killer chimpanzee ape movie, and how can it go bad? Well, I'll tell you how. You see, most of Hollywood, modern Hollywood, is under the impression that we're stupid, that we're dumb, that we don't remember movies. And I'm going to bring something to light that I've seen nobody talk about. Primate, verbatim, is literally a bunch. If you told me it was AI, created by AI, and an AI skit, I would 100% believe you. Because verbatim, there were moments and scenes directly from other movies. There was a scene where in Scream, matter of fact, I would even say, you could say I Know What You Did Last Summer too. So you can take from I Know What You Did Last Summer, and you can take Scream. The whole thing with the woman hiding in the car and the monkey unlocking the car and closing it and unlocking the locks with the key fob. We've seen that before. When the monkey's breaking through the closet and the woman is hiding under plastic, that was Halloween. You took the exact scene that Michael Myers went after Laurie Strode by breaking through the closet, and you put it in your movie and thought it was a cool scene. And then after a while, I didn't even have to look for it to get every movie that you were nailing, and those movies are better than yours. And you figure if you took bits and pieces of all these great movies, you would have a great movie yourself. Look, the idea of a killer chimpanzee or ape is a very, very simple premise. You didn't have to bite. You didn't have to copy. And I know imitation is the truest form of flattery, but you did not need to go there. And I can go on and on, scene for scene, how so many things, and I'm like, that Saw. Wait a minute. Is that the ruins? Wait a minute. I went through and I couldn't enjoy myself. Because if I wanted to watch those movies, I would watch those movies. But I chose to watch your movie, which is supposed to be about a primate getting rabies. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't guess, even that premise is not original. Cujo. Family pet, friend, loved by everybody else. Got bit by a bat, got rabies, started on a killing spree. You couldn't even be original in that premise. So yeah, Primate to me is lower than Silent Hill. At least Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill, I could stomach. But Primate, I don't know what other people saw, and maybe they were paid to say it was great and it was amazing. Look, the kills were great. The kills were great. The reaction from the characters, the dumbest people I've ever seen in my entire life. Nobody had any common sense. Nobody had any sense of any kind. And look, you can make people dumb in your movies, and people are dumb in real life, and people do things and make mistakes in real life, and they do dumb things in real life. But at a certain point, it becomes idiotic for you to believe some of the things happen the way they happen in there. First of all, we just told the little sister to stay upstairs because there was something wrong with the family chimp. Not only does this little girl come downstairs, they're literally scared on the other side of the pool. She walks up to him and tries to pet the family ape. Nobody stops her. Nobody's paying attention. And there were literally so many moments in the movie where all you had to do is just watch him and you would have survived and saved people's lives. Maybe we should get a gun. No! He's a member of the family. There was 2 points in the movie where I was just like, okay, that's ball game, that's the end. Number one, you stay in the pool. He can't get you. He can't get to you. And then the makers of the movie was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if we had like a string of lights above the pool close enough that he could climb those lights, grab somebody by their scalp and rip off their hair. Fucking bullshit. And then you're like, the only way they could achieve this is if everybody fell asleep in the pool. You're waiting. You're holding onto a floaty and your feet are waiting. They're kicking. Nothing your elbow is locked onto and all of you fall asleep. Nobody's the lookout. Nobody sleeps in ships. Look, I can go on and on about Primate. I'm not going to do that. It just became so stupid to the point where I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do it. The kills were great, but I think you needed to spend more time on sussing out your own script rather than piecing together 16 different movies. But at the end of the day, that's just what modern movie making is. It's the same shit you've seen before wrapped up in a different package in a candy-coated shell and changed so that you digest the same movie you always saw. Most of these movies, we already know how they're going to end before they begin. We know what's going to happen next. because we've seen it before. And you can't tell me there's no independent original thinking in Hollywood. The Babadook, that was original thinking. Grimcutty, original thinking. It's out there. Original thinking is out there. But it's funny because this is not what's pushed. So I'm going to move from Primate on to my next movie. Primate, like I said, is below Copper. I'm going to give that shit rusted metal. I did not like it. It was bits and pieces of a lot of movie, and you gotta treat your audience just a little bit better with their thoughts and ideals, because everybody got the references that you put in there. Even you could have made slight of the references. You did verbatim scenes from those movies. And if you did that in school, that's just called plagiarism. But it's funny, in Hollywood, it's just called a new movie. On to the next one. We Bury the Dead. Haven't heard of it? There's a good reason why you probably haven't. Look, guys. Yes, the zombie genre has been overpopulated, oversaturated, overstimulated, definitely overperspirated. So when I saw that Daisy Ridley was coming out in a zombie movie, I was on board. I was on board. You guys had me from the trailer. What they don't tell you in that trailer is that's the best parts of the movie. The scenes that are in the trailer. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. We Bury the Dead is the next movie we got to talk about. So it's a zombie movie. And in a zombie movie, I might want to concentrate on zombies. Come here. Come here. Is this thing on? I want you to hear. Eventually, you would have zombies in your zombie movie. But this is like that werewolf movie, Night of the Werewolves, where everybody on Earth under a supermoon turns into a werewolf. But you showed 6 damn werewolves. The entire world turns into werewolves. We got 6 in the movie. That's what We Bury the Dead is. We got like 8 zombies throughout the whole movie. And the zombies played backbone to people being evil, to people being stupid, to dumb reactions, to dumber people acting in dumber things. I do not blame Daisy Ridley at all. Having said that, I will say, I haven't seen a zombie apocalypse movie or TV show where they act like real people. They're all parodies of real people. Look, some people are stupid. Some people are infantile. Some people would not survive. But on the same token, making all your characters that dumb, case in point. There is a bomb that was detonated off the coast of Australia that had a nerve agent in it, returning the dead to life. I will say that because they say that in their telecast. Returning and animated the dead back to life. The dead back to life. The dead. Not sick. Not infected. The dead. What does death mean? Some say you're not truly dead until you're brain dead. So these people who died days, weeks, months, hours ago due to this nerve agent, it's not them anymore. So what's the one premise we always get in every zombie horror movie, zombie TV show, zombie everything? They're still in there. I can reach them. Have you guys, if you want to experience a zombie world, go play World War Z. Go play Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Hell, there's hundreds of zombie simulators out there that you can play to see whether or not you would stack up in a zombie apocalypse. Here's one thing we're not going to do in these movies anymore. Hello? Hello? Are you still in there? You're looking at white pupils. What does that tell you about the body? You're looking at blood and viscera. Serious wounds that are life-threatening. They don't feel it. What are you trying to tether inside a dead, walking, animated corpse? And the entire movie is based off of one premise. Daisy Ridley, who had a fight with her boyfriend slash husband, she wanted to go and find him to see if he was safe. They already told you the entire continent and population of people who were left behind are either dead or returned to the living. So they're the walking dead. See what I did there? Walking dead. So the entire movie is her going on the path to find her husband. Her dead husband. She knows this. We know this. As we're introduced to the first couple of walking corpses, we're introduced to it. Now, the premise was amazing in the beginning. We don't have enough staff. We're sending people back in to help us clear the bodies. If you come across one of the living dead, fire smoke up in the air. We'll come. We'll put them down. I'm like, okay, this is good. They're going to get overrun. They're going to have to survive. This is great. This is great. This is Dying Light. How can they mess this up? By wrapping it up in the same mess that they always do. First guy she comes in contact with, he's a crazy soldier. Wants her to act like his wife because he can't take the fact that his wife is dead. So she has to fight off him. It's a zombie movie. She should be fighting zombies. And then there are moments, literal moments, where you go 10, 20, half an hour, no zombie interaction at all. Just people talking about Edna's peach tea when they were 12 and how they used to drink it on the porch with lemons. And I am so sick of this trope in all movies, especially zombie movies and zombie TV shows. You are trying to survive dead people who want to eat you like a street taco. Your ass is on the line. Literally, your ass is on the line. None of these people act as though their ass is on the line because they read the script. That's the problem. World War Z, the movie, is not without its sins, but they got the assignment. They got the point. Still some stupid characters, some dumb decisions, but a lot better. And I expected We Bury the Dead to be on par with World War Z. There were two scenes that were phenomenal, and I was like, this is what we need more of. When she's running through the bus, being chased by this zombie, who she stopped and looked at again. You've been almost killed 5 times. You see that they are not in there. There's nothing there left of them. But of course, that's the narrative we have to paint in this movie. Some of them have a little bit of them still inside. For instance, there's a zombie that comes out with blood all over the front of her crotch. And I'm like, let me guess, she had a baby. I just saw this in, whatchamacallit, 28 years later. Which we gonna get to that next. So 28 years later, I'm like, here's the baby thing. Let me guess, the baby was born normal, but she was exposed to something. So the baby is normal. She's gonna pick up the baby and that's gonna be with them. And literally within a second, that's where the story goes. I could see everything happening before it happened. Then she finally makes it to where her husband is. She gets to the hotel. There's dead bodies everywhere. All the dead bodies that you've seen so far get up and come after you. They get up and come to kill you. They get up and go after you. The people they kill get up and kill. The people they kill get up and kill. So she walks to this luxury hotel after body after body after body to find her husband, only to find out that he was cheating on her all along. And you spent your entire movie and time to find a man who was cheating on you. So what do you think we do? Have a meltdown, decide to leave, kill your old boyfriend, leave the ring and walk away? No. This is the perfect time for me to shed my coil, go get a shower, go dip in the pool, blast some music, and enjoy myself. Like you're not in a hotel filled with dead bodies that will get up and come after you. You could have walked by all of them as you walked by them and cleared the hotel, killed them, shot them in the head, cut off their damn head. You could have done any of that, but you didn't. You left them there. And can we just talk about dead bodies and smell? Because you would not have been able to have a great time in a hot summer in a warm climate in this luxury hotel full of dead, rotting cadavers. But of course, she meets the guy she was partnered with earlier, and they're in the pool and they're drinking. And I say this again, here's another trope I cannot stand in zombie movies. You need your wits about you. This is the only thing keeping you from dying. So yes, this is the perfect time to get high, smoke a blunt, and get drunk. Because you don't need your faculties in this world. You want to be drunk, where you have no impulse control, no motor skills, and put yourself at danger constantly. You and everybody else at danger. So what happens when she's swimming in the pool and she's drunk and he's drunk? What do you think would happen? All the people got up and came after you, which we knew what was going to happen. Then the movie takes a turn and I'm like, so this is the end of the movie. This better be. I'm done. And then I see that there's still 35 minutes left in the movie. So I'm like, I haven't seen none of the things that I saw in the trailer. This is the slowest burn. This is the driest zombie movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm like, I can't believe I fell for it again. And again. And as the movie started coming to an end, I'm like, okay, now it's getting action-packed. So we're going to have nothing but action until she's safe at the end of this movie. Okay, that's a redeeming factor. Let's go. That did not happen. We had one scene. And then the movie went back to what it was. And to be honest, I was happy when the credits started to roll. No disrespect to Daisy Ridley, but I am sick and tired of how Hollywood makes movies. Not even Hollywood. I'm sick of the movie industry as a whole and how they make movies today. This is the reason why I watch mostly all foreign imports and foreign movies. They get the assignment to entertain, to escape. They get what their movie is about. Over here, we don't. We have a bunch of talking for an hour and a half and 2 minutes of action. And you're like, that's the movie. That's it. We Bury the Dead was still better than a bunch of other movies that I saw. It was just dry and slow. And I prefer more zombies in a zombie apocalypse movie. There are definitely better movies. I give it a nickel. I give it a nickel silver rating. It was much better than Silent Hill, and it was much better than some of the movies on my list. But as a whole, I needed a new zombie movie in my life, and you could not have achieved that. Not with this movie. This movie is just something to watch, but there was nobody to root for. There was nothing that... It had moments of daylight in it, but they never seized the moment. They never seized it. And for that, it fell short. Now, the next movie, I got to talk about both of them because with such a quick turnaround, 28 years later came out, or 28 dicks later came out, and then the sequel, The Bone Temple, came out, which The Bone Temple says it all. Okay, hold on, I have a question. I'm going to pause right there. Time out and pause. All right, forgive the language. Forgive what I'm going to say next, but... what is the infatuation with dicks in movies and TV shows lately? Look, far be it from me to be a person to be biased over this, but we don't need to see full veiny dicks on screen, close up, shot at low angles. I can't. I had enough of the shocking revelations in The Boys, which The Boys even were capable of this sin. Crawling up people's assholes, shooting out people's dicks, that orgy scene. I get shock and awe. I get the premise. But I am just so sick of sitting back with mixed company, mothers, sisters, uncles, brothers, and having to turn my head away because you choose to show an arbitrary dick for 5 to 10 minutes. Look, Samson And here's the thing. We've seen the interview with Samson. It's a prosthetic, which means the dick didn't even have to be that big. Whose idea was it to be like, you know what, it would be great if this guy's dick was like down to his kneecap while he's running? First of all, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, we saw these movies. What happened to the zombies' clothes? Not to mention, let's talk about continuity. This is 28 years later. With hot climates, even cold climates, decay, body rot, festering. 28 years later, there should be no zombies left. Let's just put a pin in that right now. There should be no zombies left 28 years later. Either they exhausted... Sorry. Where's my water? Got a tickle in my throat. Sorry about that. Woo! Poland Spring. I gotta hit that again. Sorry, one more time. If they exhausted their food source, they're not consuming, they're not eating, the body, whether animated or infected, rots away. This isn't 28 days later. This ain't 28 weeks later. This is 28 years later. And I just want to say, both movies, I was filled with the same exact thought in my head. What the fuck did I just watch? Look, no disrespect to the cast, no disrespect to Ralph Fiennes, who did an excellent role, but we didn't need the whole Teletubby Power Ranger group meets a Gwar concert in the middle of the Bone Temple. I get the scene. I get the premise. What are we doing? Oh, I shoot up this zombie. He comes and sits with me all the time, and we lay down and we understand each other. Brilliant idea. We don't need the Teletubbies from hell interjecting the worst of humanity. Oh, I'm a Satanist. I think you made Satanists look bad. This movie is about infected zombies. Yet, you pay attention to everything but the infected zombies. Oh, you good at showing zombie dicks. But when it comes to showing infection, how infection lasts this long, why infection lasted this long, how are they infected 28 years later, we don't go into explaining that. We explain the fact that you need to see Samson's dick every 5 seconds on a plate in front of your face. Who asked for this? I don't know who asked for this. Both movies exceeded the total amount of dickage that should be. And let me tell you something. And I watched Spartacus. There is more dick in Spartacus than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. This topped Spartacus for dick scenes. And who are you? Why? What is the purpose? Are you looking to turn people on with zombie dick? It just, I felt. I ain't even gonna say I felt uncomfortable, because that's what you wanted. You wanted people to feel uncomfortable. I felt as though we were lied to with these 28 years later sequels. What you said they would be, they're not. What you said they would do, they did not do. And to be honest, you guys only succeeded in making the sequel 28 weeks later look a lot better. That's all you succeeded in doing. I don't care if you brought Cillian Murphy back. I don't care if you got to this point. Look, if you want to watch both movies, go ahead and do it. I wouldn't do it in mixed company. Definitely wouldn't let your children watch it. If you want to watch a Snoz Bangler and Wing Wanglers, then this is the movie for you. 100%. If you want Snoz Banglers and Wing Wanglers and Who Was It's in your face constantly, every few scenes, then this is the movie for you. But this is not a zombie movie. It's not an infected movie. This was somebody's warped attempt to put ideals out there. And I'm sick and tired of these movies that do just that. All it is somebody's viewpoint and ideals being pushed through a narrative on a movie. What happened to entertainment? What happened to escapism? How hard is it to do just a zombie movie these days? I was disappointed in The Bone Temple, and I was disappointed in 28 Years Later. Both of those. Both for scenes, and they're shot beautifully. That's the problem. The cinematography is amazing. They're shot beautiful. Beautiful backgrounds and drops and countrysides and waters and landscapes. Absolutely beautiful. Too bad the story couldn't be just as beautiful as the cinematography. 28 years later, The Bone Temple, it fucking sucked. I'm a stand on business, 10 toes down, and I tell you that. Both The Bone Temple and 28 Years Later was an example of what is wrong with modern day cinema. You're giving us what you think we want and not what we want and not what we need. To wait all these years to create sequels to 28 Years Later, and I'm sick and tired of paid propaganda and people saying, it was absolutely wonderful, it was beautiful, Ralph Fiennes is amazing. Have you forgotten Ralph Fiennes was Voldemort? Did y'all remember that? He's a great, classically trained actor. To see him dancing around in red clown makeup in a bone temple, listening to heavy metal to prove to a warped satanic Teletubby who's dressed like a Power Ranger from hell, what are we doing? What are we doing? And look, I'm sick of movies being better at something than the actual movie that's known for it. What do I mean by that? There were more Mortal Kombat fatalities with Samson in these two movies than the actual Mortal Kombat movies. I don't want to live in a world where that's possible. Where the actual fatalities in this movie, verbatim, are Mortal Kombat fatalities from the game. But Mortal Kombat, the actual movies, the real life movies, could not perform them in their movies. I'm not going to even get into that. Mortal Kombat is going to be a whole other video. Don't get me started in that. But it's happened before. Matter of fact, I'll give you another example. Dawn of the Dead 2004. Dawn of the Dead 2004. It doesn't hold up, in my opinion, to the original 1978 Dawn of the Dead. Better movie, better premise. Execution was better. It just was. They didn't have to have running zombies. The execution was better in every frame, shape, and size. Yet, 2004, Mekhi Phifer, Dawn of the Dead, is a better Resident Evil movie than the actual real-life Resident Evil movie. Do you see what I'm saying? Dawn of the Dead 2004 accomplished what Resident Evil was in the game, but the actual Resident Evil movie could not do what Dawn of the Dead did. Do you see what I'm saying? And Mortal Kombat, as a movie franchise, makes me angry that a 28 Dicks Later 2-movie franchise could pull off more fatalities from the game verbatim, including Sub-Zero's, multiple Sub-Zero finishing moves, but the movie, the actual Mortal Kombat movie, could not do it. And that's the world we live in. And this is why it bums me out beyond belief, because I don't want to live in a world that can't get a movie correct, but another movie doing another premise nails it. Tell me how that happens. Go ahead and name one Mortal Kombat fatality where you see a head being pulled off with a spinal cord attached to it. Go ahead, I'll wait. We're not including the Machini Ma series that came out, the little YouTube online series that came out, because that was better than the Mortal Kombat movies, part 1 and 2 that came out recently. 2 ain't out yet. I'm not excited about it. I'm not getting into it. How do you fuck up Jade? How do you fuck up Jade? How do you fuck up Jade? And I saw the commercial, fucking Katana's mask comes CG over her face like mechanical. She's a ninja. It was tied on. Even Mortal Kombat 2, that horrible ass movie, Annihilation, got the costumes correct. Not going into it. Not doing Mortal Kombat. We're not doing it. All right. So the list today that I've compiled for you, these movies I saw recently, and I am giving up on when it comes to great movies that it's just not happening. I will say recently there was a movie that the premise was so off the wall and so insane, I had a great time watching it. Death of a Unicorn. Paul Rudd, which is in everything. Paul Rudd is in everything right now. Dude, can I just say, can I be down? Can I have some of your checks? Like, you have been in everything, Paul Rudd. You have been an Avenger. You have been in a Ghostbuster. You've been in Death of a Unicorn. You are here, there, everywhere. You are the Hollywood monkey key right now. Like, they're using you, the skeleton key, for everything. But I will say Death of a Unicorn surprised the living hell out of me. It took a premise and a original thought, and it knocked it out of the park. And I was overjoyed to the extent that I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked it. So Death of a Unicorn is giving me sparks of hope. It knew what it was. It knew full well what it was. It knew its assignment. It knew what it was at every time, and it leaned into the bet. Having said that, back in the day, you would get 10 movies, 2 or 3 of them would be duds. No good. Nowadays, you get 10 movies, 8 of them are duds, maybe 2 of them are good. And I can't deal with it. I can't. Because it's breaking me. It's like pieces of me. When I sit down to watch these things for an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours, it's 3 hours of my life I can't get back. And at my age, I can't afford to waste any of them hours. And that's all these movies are doing now. I can't tell you how many movies I put on that I actually go to sleep to. I'm on my phone most of the movie. I'm just waiting for them to end. But I will be reviewing them all for you. So stay tuned to my channel. We're up and running. 24K videos, movies, TV shows. We are back, and we have a lot to say. We have watched a lot while we were bedridden. I still can't really walk right. I still can't really move around in any way I want. And I am taking handfuls of drugs to try to just get me by. But I will say that I'm glad to be able to talk to you because I'm still here. And I thank you guys for being part of that. So the movies we went through today are just a few of we've seen a lot lately. So stay tuned to the channel. They will be drizzling out. Videos will be drizzling out. So you'll get our opinion on TV shows, movies, video games, music, everything across the board. So stay tuned. But yeah, unfortunately, almost all the movies I talked about in this video, none of them are precious metals. All of them are useless. And I'm kind of angry that I wasted my time that I can't get back. But so there you go. Thank you guys for joining me. You now know my ratings. I check them out so you don't have to. You can still go and do them. I'll recommend all the day. If you want to be just put in a state of ambivalence, then watch 28 Years Later and watch 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. If you want to be entertained, you can watch Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill. It all depends on your area and your venue of what is entertaining to you. To me, I did not find them entertaining at all. We Bury the Dead was a dry, slow burn, boring zombie movie. More boring than anything I've seen lately. It was just something to watch. And I'm tired of something to watch. I want to be entertained. If it's a comedy, I want to laugh. If it's a horror, I want to be scared. If it's a drama, move me to tears. Make me feel some emotion. Move me. That's what movies used to do. But they're not anymore. And when it comes to a zombie movie, I want some damn zombies in my zombie movie. So you asked me, what was the better infection slash zombie movie? We Bury the Dead or 28 Years Later? Neither. But I will give We Bury the Dead credit because it knew what it was. I don't think... I can't tell you exactly what I watched with 28 Years Later and 28 Years Later The Bone Temple. I don't know what I watched because I can't put it into words. Besides Dick, I can't put it into words. It's Dick the Movie, part 1 and part 2. That's basically what it is. And I'm like, what happened to the clothes? Did their clothes rot off? Why would they just pull it off and just roam around naked? Why do they still have skin and flesh? You take a normal human being and put him out in the woods. He's got injuries from stepping on rocks, tripping over things. These things are infected and dead. Yet they have perfect muscle bodies in an apocalypse. How? How if their body is literally liquefying from within and dying? In 28 Days Later, they explain the premise. It's very simple. We trapped one. He'll tell us what they do, why they do it, and eventually he'll tell us how long it takes to die. Very simple premise. This movie are 28 years later, and these zombies somehow have not died off. They've not decayed. They were fat, naked zombies eating worms in the forest. I don't... I'm just so disappointed. Anyway, guys, stay tuned. We got more videos coming for you, but in my opinion, stay away from 28 Dicks Later and The Bone Temple. Stay away from We Bury the Dead. Stay away. Hey, just with the movie, take it with a grain of salt. But Death of a Unicorn, I will say, is one of the better movies, original thoughts that I've seen in a very long time. Both as a monster movie, a horror movie, a sci-fi movie. It has what it was in spades, and it leans into what it is. And it executes it pretty well. Pretty well. Much more of an enjoyable time than even Primate, which was just sewn parts of a bunch of different movies. And now that you see it, you can't unsee it. Because when you watch it now, you're going to be like, he's right. That's clearly from Scream. That's clearly from I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's clearly from Halloween. That's clearly from Nightmare on Elm Street. Which, by the way, before I get off of here, Black Phone 2, if you hear it on paper without the name, you're like, oh, this is Nightmare on Elm Street. He's Freddy Krueger. And that's the principle of that movie. I'm just going to leave it there. When you hear everything, if you close your eyes and nobody told you it was Black Phone 2, you would swear you're watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Invading people's dreams, killing them in their dreams, verbatim. And I'm like, isn't this Nightmare on Elm Street? Am I crazy, or is this Nightmare on Elm Street? Because it was Nightmare on Elm Street. Another recent movie I saw that I can't deal with. The Black Phone 2. Black Phone 1 was brilliant. But this is why sequels sometimes should not exist. You're beating a dead horse. You should let it go. Let it go. This is why I'm kind of glad that I've been waiting for All of Us Are Dead Season 2, but I'm kind of glad we didn't get it because I think they're going to ruin it. And it seems like this is the year. Last year and this year are the years of where you get a sequel, and the sequel just murders everything that the first one did. Everything. Even the brilliance. The Last of Us Season 2 murdered Season 1. It did. Wolf Like Me 2 murdered Season 1. Wolfpack, I was waiting for a Season 2. Never got it. The Bondsman, another great TV series. Never got a Season 2. Got canceled. I'm of the mind of thinking that great projects will be canceled. Shitty projects will go on in perpetuity forever. Case in point, 5 seasons of Angel, 7 seasons of Buffy, 21 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. And let me tell y'all, I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy after season 10. I just can't do it no more, man. Watching something for the sake of the fact that it's on TV because of a name, you guys got to do better. You just gotta do better. That's why I play video games. The stories are better, the cinematics are better, the emotions are better. I'm moved. I can play Clair Obscur and listen to beautiful music, watch beautiful cinematography and background with everything going on and be moved more than any Hollywood blockbuster movie that comes out nowadays. And that is pathetic. Until next time, 24K. I'll see you guys later.